Ladies and gentlemen, there was a rumor going around recently, and lots of people have been talking about it, making videos about it, that Rachel Zegler has been fired from her Snow White remake. I am here to tell you that I don't think that is true.
This was on every dubious Disney-related news site.
Inside the Magic is not...
Disney dining. I'm sure Fandom Wire.
Clownfish TV calls it Inside the Tragic. Not exactly a reliable source.
They reported it saying according to rumors, so at least they made that caveat. But somebody in our chat yesterday was like, guys, didn't you hear Rachel Zegler got axed from Snow White? And we were like, yeah, no, I don't think
that
so.
movie, the principal photography is done on that movie. They're in
when you get to that point,
they're making the special effects.
Almost
the movie's
no
budget is already $300 million. Is going to be like $300 million. They're not going to just start over.
Batgirl had a pretty big budget, and that got axed in the middle of post-production. Granted, this one is supposed to be going to theaters, so it's
and that was a way. I mean, it was still a big. I mean, it was like double the budget of that. But like, what is actually happening is that she has been removed from the film Paddington 3 because of issues relating to the strike and filming in the UK.
People are dying, Kim.
Exactly. So the rumor started on a parody site called Mousetrap like a couple months ago, and then it went viral because of this guy who's like a fitness influencer who doesn't really cover this type of stuff. But then, like,
he just really has a bone to pick with Rachel Zegler.
He just really hates Rachel. I mean, that would be the funniest outcome of this. He just really hates Rachel Zegler. Let's watch the TikTok that started all of this, shall we?
For a moment. She's an actress who did star in the remake of West Side Story by Steven Spielberg. And she's recently been fired from Disney's remake Snow White that she was starring in. Rachel has been problematic really since the beginning of her career. Not only on set, rumors of her behavior and how unlikable she was to
I love how
work
catty
with,
this is.
but also you can see that privilege and personality come out in some of the interviews in West Side Story. Fortunately for her, because most of those interviews were cast interviews, she slightly went under the radar in terms of how unlikable she was. And she is one of the reasons why there was a lot of controversy in West Side Story. But cut to Disney.
So like this goes on for like 4 minutes. This is what happened.
This is what he was doing.
This is for Rachel, you big fat, white, nasty smelling fat bitch. Why you took me off the motherfucking schedule with your trifling, dirty, white, racist ass, big ass bitch.
What is this from?
Oompa Loompa body ass bitch. I'm coming and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, bitch. And don't even try to call the police.
What is this from?
I don't even know what the origin of it is, but this is for Rachel.
So this is what led to the rumors that Snow White was getting recast. That was never going to happen.
But out of solidarity with the SAG strike, she opted out of continuing to film Paddington 3, which nobody even knew was in the making right now. I didn't even know there was a Paddington 2.
Exactly.
So that's news to me. And it just snowballed. Get it?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I got it.
It just snowballed into the rumor that she was getting fired. But there's just, I knew immediately there's no way that they would ever do that. And it's funny to kind of spread fake news about this movie right now because she doesn't have a platform to disprove any of it because she can't talk about the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was promising at first.
It's
we got a little bit too excited.
It does. Well, I mean, I didn't believe that I didn't believe that at all. Like, I if anything, I was worried. Like, did I miss something big here? But no, that's not what this was here. And I saw in the chat earlier, Dollclick said like she's not that bad. You guys are making a bigger deal out of it. You're jumping on the bandwagon. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, perception is reality in Hollywood.
I don't think she's actually that bad, but I think her interviews that are being reposted a lot they are that bad. They were really, really bad.
And it proves that you only get one chance to make a good first impression.
One shot, one opportunity.
Exactly. So it's like whether she is that bad in real life is not really relevant in this situation. What matters is, did she knock it out of the park the first time around? Because one of those clips goes viral, and all it takes is people bringing them back up when this stuff comes around, because people are unforgiving.
You don't even need to knock it out of the park in the first interviews about Snow White. All you need to do is just show that you have a cursory knowledge of what the story is and a basic appreciation for it, and rather
not
than
even appreciation,
disdain.
respect. Like not even appreciation, respect.
Yes, a respect for the source material, and rather than disdain for it. That is the bare minimum. And it was very clear from her demeanor that she doesn't like this story.
There was a really good video made by Thorius Unlimited. He's another YouTuber, where he talks about he was reviewing One Piece, and he absolutely loved One Piece. And he cut together these interviews where the lead actor from One Piece goes to meet the creator and the people behind the story. And he's glowing the whole time. He's glowing. He's like, I can't wait to bring this story to life. I have so much respect for the story. I have so much respect for the character. And then it's cut in between all of these clips of Rachel Zegler, who has such disdain and hatred for what she's being told to be the caretaker of. And it's a problem. It's a problem when it's at the helm of a property that's worth this much money. I mean,
honestly,
a lot of people
wouldn't mind indifference.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Halle Bailey, she just seemed like, I'm just happy to be here. Yeah. Like, I'm just excited to be here. She didn't seem like she particularly cared about The Little Mermaid that much. But she was a nice girl, talented singer, didn't feed into the media frenzy about the race politics.
That was the only one that they had to go with.
That was the bare minimum that anyone could ask for, and it was fine.
And when we went to review it, we're like, yeah, it was fine.
And whatever. It was just as inoffensive as you could imagine it was. Exactly. It was not memorable, but it wasn't terrible either. I'm fine with that. You don't have to be like giving it a glowing review and obsessing over it and be the biggest fan of it in the world. Like, but just don't outwardly insult it and insult your co-stars.
Yeah. And it's that type of behavior has got to be one of those things that a producer and a director and a writer need to start looking at the idea of, does this person have enough of a reach that I can overlook that type of behavior?
She really doesn't. And she doesn't. Her track record with other movies, none of them have done well.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, what you know what the funniest outcome of this could possibly be is if they somehow Frankenstein this amazing movie and we didn't see it coming and it ends up being really, really good and we're like, crap! Like,
I mean, if I really enjoy Snow White,
I don't think we will, but
I don't predict that either. Yeah. But if I really enjoy the movie, I'm perfectly happy to admit that. That's fine. But she's not doing it any favors.
I do still wonder whether it will affect the box. Like I said, I saw somebody, we were talking about it yesterday, said, look, the people that didn't go see The Flash, certainly people who might watch this show are already plugged into or care enough about pop culture to watch a show like ours, might be turned off about the idea of going to see a movie starring a creepy Ezra Miller. Yeah. But I don't think that the average moviegoer pays attention to that. And a person who doesn't pay attention to anything going on in pop culture outside of maybe some infographics they get from Us Weekly or Entertainment Tonight aren't going to know that she is the way she is.
The way that normies have selective attention and when they look at pop culture news. Like, I was talking to my hairdresser about Maren Morris, because we were just talking about Maren Morris making this dramatic exit from country music. My hairdresser likes country music, so I was like, what do you think of her? And she said, she's great. I like her music. She's leaving country music, though. Did you hear? And I was like, yeah. So, any thoughts on what she said about it? And it was like she had the blinders on. She didn't register at all that there was Maren Morris's comments about country music were entirely about misogyny, racism, homophobia, transphobia, all the buzzwords. She did not register that at all. The only thing she knows about Maren Morris is I went to a concert of hers a few years ago and it was kind of bad.
Yeah.
I really envy being in that position where I don't have to think about all of the toxicity.
Crazy Cat says, newsflash, Beret says, the Flash bombed, so I guess normies did pick up on that. No, I don't think so. I think people didn't go see Black Adam either. Black Adam made nobody went and saw any of the DC movies are struggling from bad movies.
No one saw Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
DC is struggling from bad movie releases before. Causing an influx of negative press.
Marvel is struggling with that too, but they're still on a little bit higher echelon than DC, well, so they're able to make
They did enough right for so long that they get more leeway, and even then, not that much. Guardians of the Galaxy did well, but the other releases this year did not. So, but you can only make so many bad movies before people start tuning out. And I think Marvel's problem is beyond that. I think theirs is more to do with the Disney Plus shows destroying the scale and the gravitas of the movies.
There are going to be DC shows soon.
Well, I know that
those are in the works.
Yeah, and I know that the Penguin show is still being made. It's obviously not right now, but yeah. So who would you cast then? If not,
we were
Rachel
talking
Zegler,
about this. We were going to do this for the poll, but we couldn't figure it out. Should Jenna Ortega replace Rachel Zegler?
If they're gonna do a Latina actress if this was true, if this wasn't bunkum, if all of this story wasn't BS, who would you replace Rachel Zegler with? Chat, thoughts? I would like to know who the chat would replace Rachel Zegler with.
Jenna Ortega would be the most popular pick. I didn't know that Olivia Rodrigo was not, in fact, Latina.
Okay.
She's Filipina. So she's off the list, I guess. Selena Gomez would have been in the running 10 years ago. I really thought Mackenzie Foy would be the perfect Snow White, who is like a Gen Z actress. She's not Latina though, so she can't get cast.
Yeah.
Who else?
Wouldn't be surprised if they did Millie Bobby Brown. They could have done.
She's not Latina though.
I'm pitching wide.
Wait, hasn't Millie Bobby Brown played a princess already? She has a movie that's going out on Netflix called Damsel.
Annie still in the chat says Jenna Ortega, Olivia Rodrigo.
Yep.
The Wolfman
when
says
I think
Britney
Zoomer
Spears.
Latina actress, those are the three that come up in my mind.
Yep. Dour memes in the chat says Dylan Mulvaney.
Stormy Daniels, come on guys. Lizzo, Elliot Page.
I think Millie Bobby Brown. Originally, the other idea I had was
if Millie Bobby Brown would be any better in the press.
Wouldn't she?
No.
Wouldn't she?
I don't think so.
She's like, I'm getting married. I love Snow White. I found my Prince Charming. She could say cheesy stuff like
her
that.
Husband.
They could do stuff like that.
Is she married yet, or is she just engaged?
She's engaged.
Okay.
Left field says Aubrey Plaza. Yeah, honestly, 10 years ago, if they I wouldn't be surprised if Hollywood tried to do LOL so random Snow White and cast Aubrey Plaza.
That doesn't sound good to me.
I don't know. There's a bunch of the McKenna Grace. I thought could have done it. She might be too young. She's 7. I mean, how old is Snow White's like 14 in the play,
yeah,
right?
But they're not actually gonna cast a kid.
But by the time that the movie went to principal photography, if they hired her now, McKenna Grace would be old enough. She was from Ghostbusters Afterlife. In the chat, Russell says Betty White.
You said Dove Cameron.
No.
But she should play. She should play like Princess Peach if there were a live action Princess Peach.
Yes. P. Tran says Chloe Grace Moretz. That probably would have been an option at one point, but she's got
everyone's just gonna make fun of her legs.
They're like, why are you so disproportioned? It doesn't make any sense.
It's so mean, actually. It is.
I do like the idea that they're gonna Jacob Edler. She's 17. It said. So by the time they got to,
she was like 14 in the original story.
No, he's saying McKenna Grace is 15.
Oh, okay.
I think she was 15 when they made Ghostbusters Afterlife. But by the time they went to get this movie, if they started over now, she would be 18 by that period. And so if she's 14 in the play, and they did it true to age, they could have cast McKenna Grace in that role. But there's a bunch of them. So he says, how about Ron Perlman? That'd be great. Ron Perlman can play Snow White. He's got the white hair.
Very innocent looking.
Yes, he's a very innocent looking guy. What about you, Mary? Could you play Snow White?
No.
No? You'd be too busy, like, annoyed with the prince?
I don't think I could do that. I wasn't really a drama kid either.
Did you do any theater classes or anything like that? Nothing like that?
No.
You do cast castles, so that's okay.
I wasn't really attracted to the crowd that the drama club attracted.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.